Hello there, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to BTV BetterThanVegas here. As you can see in the background, we have some Call of Duty Black Ops 3. And as you may have noticed, I'm quiet, not feeling too good, so I decided to do something different today with the extra time I had. We're going to talk about a big issue up with YouTube right now. And this affects middle ground people. Not like the super high up, oh, I'm PewDiePie, I have 50 million views, or subscribers, sorry. Or I'm Vanoss, I have 20 million subscribers. But no, it affects the low, like middle class people. That sounds weird to say middle class. You know what I'm talking about. The middle range group. Your Deliriouses, your Drifters, your Speedies. Those people. Because this is a huge issue that is currently sweeping in through YouTube and whatnot. Where basically, what happened was, a bunch of people who are using the YouTube ad revenue system, companies specifically, I'm not going to say people, companies, were using the YouTube ad revenue system in order to promote their product like they should. And a bunch of them have been backing out. The reason being is that they found out some of their products have been associated to hate speech, anti-Semitism, you know the works, those kinds of people. And if you don't know what hate speech is, you know what hate speech is. There's no fucking in between. You know what it is. That's like me going, oh, that guy killed me with a VMP. Oh, I hope his family gets murdered and killed in front of him. That's hate speech. That really is. Or like, oh, this guy got the Galil as a drop weapon. Well, I hope someone rapes his kids. That's hate speech. That's unacceptable. So we're going to look at them first, and I'm not going to give any names out of like people who are doing this because that would give them publicity. And that's unacceptable. So, yeah, they're shitty human beings. And I don't agree with what they say, and it's sort of that American thing, I will defend to the death your right to say it. I won't. No, you don't deserve to say that. Because that's mean and hateful, and you are a shitty person. So, part of the fault lies with them, yes. Okay, I'm going to say like 80% of the fault lies with them for actually saying that shit and being hateful people. That's not cool. Let's work up a bit. In order to get ads on your video, you have to allow monetization. How do you allow monetization? Well, here is the actual YouTube and Google page for if you want to allow monetization. In order to set up monetization, you have to join the partner program, you have to set up an AdSense account, and you have to choose the videos you want to monetize. Clearly, once you're at a certain point, you just select monetize all. Real simple. So, what seems to be the problem? Well, like I said before, ad companies are finally fucking watching what their ads are associated with and finding out, oh, that's terrible. Why are we allowing that to happen? We shouldn't, and that's why they're leaving. So, we look at the creators' part. These people are making hate speech, they're doing terrible things with it, and it's unacceptable. It is unacceptable. So then, what's the next step? Who's up above that? Well, it'd be YouTube and their partner system. As we know, that's like Machinima or one of the other partners. I can't think of any right now. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything besides Machinima. Just because that's like the biggest one I can think of. I'm sure there's a big one. Whatever PewDiePie uses is probably ginormous. But we're getting off track. Here is the YouTube Partner Program overview. Again, straight from their website. And as you can see, it says, upload original quality content that is advertiser friendly, complies with your terms of service and community guidelines. We're going to highlight that one. Look at that. Community guidelines and terms of service. That means that when you signed up, you agreed that you would, I don't know, not be a douche. That's probably should be how exactly it should be phrased when you actually do it. Don't be a douche. I'm not sure what legal justification they'd have for that one or if they were able to get away with it, but that would be amazing. Anyway, again, off topic. So as you can see, they're violating the terms of service and the community guidelines right there. So they should not be allowed to partner up, yet they're still able to. Well, that's YouTube's fault. YouTube's job as this platform is to make it so that both sides feel safe. I'm trying to think of the word. I'm going to go with safe anyway. But no, the entire part of the terms of service, community guidelines make it so that you aren't allowed to do things like say, hey, you should kill the Jews, or hey, screw black people. Like, that's not cool. That's what YouTube's job is for. That's why there is such a clamoring for it on both sides. For people who want to make content, me, Delirious, Vanoss, all the way up to PewDiePie. That's what we're there for, is to make the content because we like enjoying it, and it becomes a job for some of them. For me, it's a hobby. I don't have to worry about this. I would have to have, like, I don't know, 6 zeros in front of my subscriber count in order for this to matter. It doesn't, and that's not happening. I'm fine with that. Like I said, hobby for me. For these guys, though, this is a job, and this is a thing that is destroying their job. Why is that? Well, because YouTube isn't freaking watching the videos that are getting put up. They're just going, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. The partners, like Machinima, like whatever PewDiePie uses, they're not watching either. They're saying, put it up, put it up, put it up. Why? Why is that happening? This is almost entirely on YouTube. And guess what? It's almost not entirely YouTube's fault, because YouTube is owned by Google. Because Google owns YouTube, this is on Google. Google is the one who is supposed to be watching everything, both figuratively and literally. If you know they know your search history, you know Google has your balls instantly. So this is on Google. Google's job as the one who owns the company, the one who sets up this as a platform between people who make stuff and the people who sell stuff. And that is on them. They're screwing it up for everybody. That's why the people keep leaving. That's why it is no one wants to make anything, because for those who have this as a job, they're losing out. This is their livelihood, and YouTube and Google are screwing them over. Why? Because YouTube and Google, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to say Google from now on. Google is removing what made YouTube great. Specifically, the idea is that YouTube is this place where you make stuff. You create content that, because like, oh, you're like, this is super funny. I want people to see this and enjoy it with me. That's the entire idea behind it. And Google said, oh, that's cool and all, but we like the fact that we make money off this, so we're just going to like really pander like cable companies and that. If you don't believe me, look at, let's see, Colbert Show, The Late Night with Stephen Colbert, Conan. Look at John Oliver's show. I forget what that one's called now. Last Week Tonight. And all of these other like news stations, Fox and MSNBC and Rachel Maddow, and then all the talk shows, be it daytime, Ellen DeGeneres, or nighttime, Conan. I couldn't have picked 2 more different people than if I tried. And it is almost a system that's entirely catered to them now. Because the only thing Google wants is for YouTube to make money. And the reason for that being is that Google is a corporation. And Google doesn't care. Google can't care. Again, it's not a person. It's a corporation. Like with Activision. Since we're playing Call of Duty, we're going to talk about Activision. If I was the richest man on the planet, and I left a will to Activision, stating that when I die, they get all of my money, Activision, as the corporation, would hire an assassin to kill me. Because it's in their best interests. They have no emotions. They can't pass on genes. They can't procreate. They don't match up to any of the actual qualifications of you being a person. So you can't treat them like a person. It's a corporation, plain and simple. And the fact of the matter is, this isn't going to get any better unless something drastically changes. Because Google doesn't care. Google's already making the money. And it's clear Google's not watching the videos, because they keep getting posted. This is unacceptable, and this is Google's fault. Because they took the nice YouTube, the fun platform that allowed people to be creative in that, and they screwed them over. They said, oh, well, we know you love this, and there's not much of another option, so fuck you. That's what Google did. And see, that one line right there means I could never monetize this video, no matter how many... like, this could literally reach up to 5 million people. And it could go to like 20 billion likes, whatever the stupid numbers are. And I wouldn't be able to monetize because I said one F word. Tisk. That gets me a PG-13 rating in freaking movie. So, as we know now that this is Google's fault. Google did this and screwed over the freaking content creators. There's not much of a fix we can do outside of like making a whole new website, because Google's not going to fix this. As soon as they're able to, they were going to make it so that only cable news runs on YouTube. Or the most adorable cat videos, because nothing will ever change with those. So anyway, yeah, that seems to be the big issue here. And like I said, it says right there, every time I look at it, terms of service and community guidelines. If you click on those, you come up with this page. Let's look at the biggest ones. Hateful content. That's the biggest issue with all these people, or I guess corporations, again, not people, are removing all of their ad revenue money because they don't want to be associated with the hateful content. Threats, harmful or dangerous, saying, oh, this is how you'd blow up the White House. Guess what? Again, not allowed. That's not cool. Child endangerment. Isn't that the entirety of Minecraft and Roblox right now? Is that freaking kids are getting solicited for sex on those websites and those games? That's ridiculous. Harassment and cyberbullying, which was a huge epidemic last year. If anyone watched YouTube, clearly you did, you're here. You saw that was a big thing where people were calling out other people and just being the worst human beings possible. Straight up. And again, none of this is acceptable. Not by decency standards and not by their guideline. That is pointed out right here. And on the right, you see spam, misleading metadata, and scam. Scams being the CSGO lottery site that, T. Martin and Syndicate opened, and then made it look like they had just found it miraculously. Yeah, bullshit like that. You know what spam is? It tastes disgusting. There's a few people who know what I'm talking about. And misleading metadata, which is basically how YouTube works now. Clickbait titles. That's all they're doing. No one wants to put out anything impressive when they can just say, oh, look at this adorable cat versus 1,000-degree knife. And guess what? They get a shit ton of views. That is ruining things for content creators who actually do something. And again, this is Google's fault. This and the hate speech is ruining YouTube for the rest of us. And Google's the one to blame. For a group saying they want to be open and inclusive and do all these things with all these different groups of people, they should never have allowed this. Basically, this all comes down to the fact that Google does not care about its content creators. It doesn't, because they're not theirs. They're YouTube's content creators, and that's just a part of Google. So Google doesn't have to care, because they can make their money no matter which way they do it. And it's disappointing, it really is. Because this was a cool thing. I've been watching YouTube since 2010. Yeah, about 2010. I just recently started putting up my own stuff. And that's just because I tried to find people who I'd enjoy who played my games. You know, the nerdy RPGs and all the ridiculous things. And no one I could not get into anyone who did. And besides, I like the idea of just talking and playing. It's very relaxing. It really is. But no. This started out as a community project of cat videos. Let's be honest. It was cat videos and then like something really ridiculously kawaii, I believe. I think it was something with an elephant. I can't remember exactly what. But anyway, this started out as a community project. That the community was doing things together and it was making awesome stuff. Google got involved and ruined it. Be it the Content ID claim system, which is utterly broken because the company who owns the content doesn't even have to be the one to like say, hey, this is someone else's or this is our stuff. Someone completely unassociated can say, that's this person's, and then screw you over. And that's not cool. That's a greed thing from the freaking corporations. And I'm just disappointed. I'm angry and disappointed. And this doesn't even affect me. This is a hobby for me. This is something I just get to do as an extra. Basically, like I said, Google let everyone down with the system because they don't care about the content creators. They only care about the money. And it's disappointing. It really is. This was a fun thing for a lot of people, and Google's corporate greed ruined it. Just like DLC weapons ruined Call of Duty. And really quick and pretty unrelated, in the background, I'm not doing that. That is actually how slow that went for me. Which is completely unrelated to the subject at hand, but I just wanted to point that out. I'm droning on too long now. I'm just going to be done with this. But basically, yeah, if you're going to be angry at anybody, be angry at Google. And what's Google going to do? Publish my search history that I've used for Google? Guess what? Anyone can do that now. It doesn't matter. But I just want to say thank you all very much for tuning into BTV for this rant that has literally nothing to do with me, because I'm not going to be making money off this website like ever. Unless something insane happens, which I highly doubt this video is going to be the answer. But Better Than Vegas, signing out.